14,001. The management model creates room for what? Continuous improvement. It means the health system you have now, the environmental system model you have now is open for what? Continuous improvement. So the management model always gives room for what? Continuous improvement. Before now, you could perform open operation, right? Open surgery. What is the current documents are always overseen by national body. And in Nigeria, we have 3 national body that look into quality management and environmental management. There are 3 bodies. One of them is what? Quality management in Nigeria. Which body oversees it? Your drug, your water, your food, your drinks. NAFDAC. Okay, that stands for what? Let me do this open interview and see how I feel many people here today. Oh, yeah. Let me hear you now. NAFDAC stands for what? Eh? See, I'm hearing 2 things. It means some persons made it, some did not make it. So if you have the hand, is it twice or once? Eh? Because some were giving me 2, and if you have 2, it's wrong. So the 3 national body, they oversee quality management and environmental management. You say NAFDAC, right? 1. Then number 2. Eh? NDLA is paramilitary. It has nothing to do with. So the second body. Louder now. Are you afraid to say it? SON. That stands for good. Standard Organization of Nigeria. That is it. Then the third body. And that is the only body I look forward to buy my bottled water. I cannot just because of 300 or 500 or 1,000 buy a problem for myself. I'm not convinced that your product has a NAFDAC number. The Lagos where I come from, the Aba I know, you can generate your NAFDAC number in your sitting room. You understand? So I'm not convinced by NAFDAC number. And Nccf Kano will bear me witness. I was with them 2023 and I said I'm praying, and I've been praying for the past 2 weeks because of what I saw then. And I know God in heaven will answer my prayer. What I saw on Lagos Island, on that bridge, Akbangbo, I needed divine intervention. And I want that market to catch fire. Yes. I practically went there to observe everything they were doing. There's a brand of drink. That wine then was 95,000. Then you sell it for 110, 120. But under that bridge, they are selling it for 70,000 naira. 70,000. I was like, how? So I have to buy it, buy the imported one, take the two to lab. And the problem we have in this country, we only have one central lab. It's wrong as a country. A country of over 200 million people, 36 states, only one central lab. So from Maduguri, you take your sample all the way to Lekki Phase 2. From Calabar, Odopani, you take your sample all the way to Lekki Phase 2. Or maybe from somewhere here, where is the far axis of this area? Before Niger Bridge. Jeba, right? You take a sample from your farm or from your company, you are running all the way to Lekki Phase 2. I remember some of this sample, it has time limits. So it means, I remember when we were doing the first one from Umaro, we have to quickly just move it, come here, fly into Lagos in order to access lab. We tried on 3 occasions, the third time before we made it. But I have to appreciate Ogun State Governor that came into our aid. He came in last 2 years and tried to have one of the labs, one in Africa, because that lab would take care of QA, you take care of QC. So you can easily run quality assurance in that lab. You can also run quality control also in that lab. So we have to thank the governor. So if you like, you go for central lab or you go for state lab, all in the same direction. So what happened to south-south, southeast, northeast, north-central, and northwest to have their own lab? Okay, just apart. So we have NAFDAC and SON, right? Agreed. The third body is what? NIS. So that won't waste time. NIS. National Industrial Standard. And their symbol is what? MANCAP. So I will only buy your bottled water if you have a MANCAP symbol. Because the MANCAP will tell you for every batch of the water you are to release to the market, the sample must be tested in the lab before you release it to the market. And that's why 2 batches of Ever water was destroyed. And often we say in Nigeria, if you have Swan water, you have the best water. Right? Others can come later. So we're going to cover this content. Finally, after BACT 800, question number, what was that number? Huh? 5. Finally, we're going to end up with OHSAS 18001. OHSAS 18001. That is O stand for Occupational Health, Safety, and Administrative. Occupational Health, Safety, Administrative Specification 18001. OHSAS 18001. I hope you've gotten all that right. That is Occupational Health, Safety, Administrative Specification 18001. And that is the latest. Okay? The latest then anyway, that's 1999. But by 2022, there's a new one, Occupational Health and Safety Administrative Specification 4500 series. Don't write it to because it's not for you. The 450 series is all about what? Pandemic. For those of us that studied in 2022, we all know that every 100 years, there must be a pandemic. The last pandemic was 1919. And when it happened, African continent was the highest heated continent with over 500,000 dead bodies. 100 years later, which is 2019, there's another pandemic called codename COVID. Right? It was codenamed COVID. And the belief then is that if the COVID hit Africa continent, the street will be littered with dead bodies. And after 2 years, what happened? Which continent was the most heated continent after COVID? Huh? South American continent, followed by European continent. And what happened to Africa? We were just there and nothing happened, except those who went to those continents and brought it in. So in the study, we're trying to find out 4500 series. Why were the Africans not much affected? Why? Study made us understand maybe one climate, the other one's a gene. And I laugh over it as an African that I am. Because I know somebody that is stronger than gene, somebody who is stronger than even the climate, has planned for everything. Because 26th of that December, 2019, after we returned from camp, I was seeing something. The most richest one in Cesena, a small city in Italy, he was busy throwing this money away. Please, whoever survived this COVID to enjoy this. No single soul came out to pick money. And after like 5 minutes, I saw a black young guy busy picking. And I have to come, Madam, please come and see Osaro. Come and see Osaro. The white were hiding because of COVID. But the black guy was busy packing. He will go home and download, come back and pick. The next thing, he called some black guys like himself. They were busy packing. So why were they hiding from COVID? And the black guy was on the street enjoying himself. And they were saying, Gene, the climate. And this guy have left the African continent to their own climates. Why was he not affected? So we see that is above that can easily explain what happened there. Currently, there's a problem coming out. There's an outbreak, right? Louder about it. Louder now. Where you they go? Come and tell us. Hantavirus. How many days now? Day what? Today is day what? Day 16. Are you guys not following? Ha. You don't follow bad things. But then you need to be. Why are we here? For safety, is that not? The aim of this course is for safety. So you need to be aware to be saved. So if you are in public, okay, or what do we call that? So, thank you. Then you do what? Often, right? Then if one is coughing behind you, what do? Open that window, let justice just go out. Just be careful. And when you do it to your what? To your arm. Thank you. Your elbow will just take it off. That's where you cough into. That's a safety device. Not like this. No, it's wrong. Like that. Can we go ahead now? The objective of this course, number 1, is to define the concept and components of health and safety management system. And 2, is to outline the recent development in health and safety management, including the development of occupational health and safety administrative specification 18001 and its accreditation. So we say for the past decade, for past many years, the countries of the developed country of the world have seen injury, accident, the rate have declined as a result of a new law, new approach, new way of managing health and safety, new way of managing accident and nearly and falls. But within this period of time, the occupational health and safety law have helped. Nigeria as a country never had any occupational health and safety law until 2014. So if you're opportune to be in Abuja, go to the National Assembly, go to their library, buy your HSC Act. It's 500 naira a copy. That act is full of loopholes. And I don't know what were our lawmaker thinking when they enact such law. For instance, if this young man is working at the course of work, he had an accident that leads to a permanent damage, the law did not specify how much should be his compensation and how far the compensation will last. Nothing. Should it supposed to be like that? In this case, the casualty, the company, the plant, and the machinery has to face it. So we are going to analyze that in detail anyway. So the laws are there to help reduce accident and incident. So what do we mean by health and safety management system? A health and safety management system can be defined Driver, go down now. Let me continue, please. No time. A health and safety management system can be defined as the means by which an organization controls risk through the management process. Do you get that? Okay. But the BSI, that B there stands for British Standard Institute. We don't have anyone like that in Nigeria. So we are supposed to have Nigerian Standard Institute, where we'll go in and do 1 or 2 programs that has to do with standard, but we don't have any. So the British Standard Institute defined occupational health and safety management system as part of the overall management system that facilitates the management of the occupational health and safety risk associated with the business of the organization. So this risk include the organizational structure, planning activities, responsibility, practice, procedure, processes, and resources for developing and achieving, reviewing and maintaining the organizational occupational health and safety law. Okay? So these are in place to help what? Help reduce accident, incident at the course of work or during the process of work. So what do we mean by system approach in managing health? What do we mean by system approach in managing health? Driver, quick. A system approach in management system or to management theory or to system theory, it is developed in primary industry we say a system approach to management is based on system theory, developed primarily in the natural and social sciences, and there are core 4 elements. There are 4 core elements to general system theory, which include inputs, process, outputs, and feedback. So how do we relate this with management of health, safety, and environment? We say this system that interacts to give you input, process, output, or feedback is either open or closed. So we have 2 systems, an open system and a closed system. So let's look at these 2 systems carefully. An open system. Okay? Up. Yes. You can see it now. These are the 2 systems. We are talking, which way we are? Open system, closed system. So we say an open system is one where there are identifiable pathway, where the system interacts with the external environment and is subject to external influences. So in health and safety, these influences include legislation, public opinion, and the economy. But in a closed system, it doesn't interact with the environment, and so their ability to adapt or respond to respond to changing internal condition is limited. Let's look at it this way. An open system interacts with the environment. It interacts with the external environment. It takes care of everything. In an open system, this is how it works. There's a health and safety policy for the workers and their family, which was wrong. Please, if you are in charge tomorrow and you are to write your health and safety policy, don't put it, there is a health and safety policy for the workers and their family. Reason is this. If you are employed today, is it possible you get a family immediately? It could take you the next 6 months or a year to form family. So it means that policy have denied you of your right. So OHSAS 18001 says you should do what? Use the term a health and safety policy for the workers and their dependents. So whoever she said depend on her will benefit from the health and safety policy. Like we often said, if you are to write your policy cover for him, he will say it himself, right? The policy will cover you. The policy will cover madam, right? You know, if your madam is strong, you are also strong. I hope you are aware. Madam, when you are heavy, you are not the only one heavy, your guy is also heavy. Throughout that 9 months, yours is physical. Oga own is what? Because for that 9 months, he won't be himself. But he will pretend because what? He's a man. That's number one. Number two, because someone over there assure him. Okay? He will reassure you that what? All is well. And then watch out. After that 9 months, the very day you put to bed, you need to see the way you'll be celebrating, gallivanting from one corner to the other. Why? Here, he has been relieved. Okay? So, the health and safety policy will cover you, cover your madam, brother, sister. You know, your mom is strong, you are also strong. So, it will affect your input at workplace. So, there should be health and safety policy that will cover you, cover the entire family, and other persons that depend on you, including your house help. That house girl must have health and safety policy that will cover her. Your gatesman, a health and safety policy will cover such people, because if it affects them, it affects your input too. So, if you are writing the policy, now that the policy covers the workers and their dependent, there is also a policy that covers what? The equipment you are working with. There's also a policy that covers the substance for those of us that are in the petrochemical or in the camp, in the lab. Those substances you are working with, the policy will also have to cover them in case there's any accident or incident. Like the case of Dangote plant, where it split over. And the splitting affect workers. You know, the coverage will be in two phases. The fact that there are workers that have health and safety policy, you activate that. The substance that caused the accident has a policy too. So double compensation, double premium will be paid. That is in what? In an open system. Then there must be a policy that covers the environment. For instance, if what Nccf is doing here is an industry, you know, by the mode of your operation here, you are affecting the host community. Are you there? You could affect them positively. You could affect them negatively. So if there's any outbreak as a result of what you are doing here, what happened? You are going to activate that policy that covers the environment. Is that taken? In what? In an open system. But in a closed system, nothing like that will happen. There's no policy for the workers, no policy for their dependents, no policy for the host community, no policy for the water. Remember, for industries that operate close to the water, if you are to cover the policy, it will come from upstream to downstream. You understand what we are saying? Because the water flow downway. So, for instance, if what you are doing, there's an accident underneath pipe that flow into the river, it's not the community up there alone that it will affect. As the water flow downward, so is the impact of that accident or incident. So your coverage should go downstream too. Is that taken? So that is in an open system. But in a closed system, nothing like that will happen. So if you are to be employed tomorrow, you will know from your employment letter whether your organization operates a closed system or an open system. Look at it. In a closed system, in an open system, this is how your employment letter will read. Your basic take home, 300. Transportation, 100. Health and safety policy, open to page so. Fill the form and submit it to health and safety department. It means that organization operates in what? In an open policy. But in a closed policy, this is how your employment letter will read. Take home, basic take home, 300. Transport allowance, 100. Health allowance, 100. Once it has been made mention and the amount is fixed there, it means it operates in what? In a closed system. Now, if there's a serious incident or accident, can 100,000 take care of it? No. Because safe delivery, where I'm coming from, is 150,000 naira. But then if there's any incident or accident that leads to CS, a doctor will tell you to do what? Deposit how much? 500,000 first. You hear the young man shout, Abi? He said, hey. Because he knew the allowance is how much? 100,000. And somebody is telling you to deposit how much? 500,000. That shouting alone will, in fact, it will affect his imputes. There's nothing he will do in the office. Because his thinking is all about what? How to raise 500,000. So a closed system is not okay. Okay? So if you find yourself in that state tomorrow as a health and safety manager that is in position, please try to turn a closed policy to an open policy. Is that okay? So let's continue now. So we said a management system is an open system and based on the following inputs, process, output, and feedback. So the feedback mechanism is there to check if that process is going down as planned. So in the past, organization put a great deal of emphasis on safety program, and these are different from health and safety management system in a number of ways. What's the difference between program and management system? One, the program focus more on compliance. Compliance with what? Regulation or standards set by the national body like NADAC or NIS, SON. Okay? Just standard that you are trying to focus on don't have feedback mechanism. But a system approach has that feedback mechanism where you can easily check where the errors are, correct them, and adjust. Two, performance of a program is based on compliance with the system, with trailing or what we call reactive indicators, just as the number of incident, accident, injury, etc. But in a system approach, performance is also measured from the inputs, process component of the system. So that is the difference between the two. In 1991, for various reasons, ISO couldn't come up with anything, but HSE published a document that is called Successful Health and Safety Management System, which was designed to be a practical guide for businesses that want to improve their health and safety management system. As a result, the approach of this produces 6 elements for us to follow, which include quickly health and safety policy, organizing the policy, planning and implementing the policy, measuring the performance of the policy, reviewing the performance of the policy, auditing. And we're going to look at it in detail. This 6 is what we refer to as what? HSCG 65. Hello? The first content you wrote down, this is what it contains. When we talk about HSCG 65, it has to do with what? Health and safety policy. It has to do with the organization of the policy. It has to do with planning and implementing the HSE policy. It has to do with measuring the performance of the policy. It has to do with reviewing the performance from time to time. And once you review it, throw it open for auditing. And this is where HSE auditor come in. But in Nigeria, there are only 2 organizations that perform this role. This young lady that established her own company here in Ilori, and the other lady that established hers in Niger State. And they were all product of Nccf Sokoto 2018. I know why I'm ringing this bell, so that you guys go and study it very well. What does it take for you to open your HSE auditor as a firm? And you can start from your daddy's room. All you need is a desk, your laptop. Okay? So by the time you audit 1, 2, and 3, you are good to go. That will give you room to do what? Employ others. And you are now a CEO. Just like the young lady and the other young lady. We need them more in Nigeria. Only 2. And you need to see the way they are dragging. So let's continue. So key element of health and safety management system is what we're going to look at. And this key element will be summarized using that G65 document. So HSC decided to give us this guide in 1997. Let's look at the guide now. Yes. This diagram represents G65. This is the diagram of G65. So it should be all about what policy development, as health and safety policy development, organizational development of the policy. Then you planned it. Not just planning and have it down. When you plan, you have to implement it. Then you measure the performance from time to time. You could measure the performance quarterly or biannual or annual. So when you measure it, you try to review policy you are going to write should consider 2 things. Okay? When you are to write the health and safety policy, you are going to consider 2 things. 1, you consider the organization. You consider the workers. So you divide it into the company and its equipment, the workers and the equipment they work with. So that the society, the workers, the stakeholders, and their representative will be what? Carried along in the policy. For instance, what's the name, my dear? Victor. Victor is working with ITO. You know, ITO is the next thing that will happen. How many of us are into project management here? Civil engineering? Any civil engineer here? Petrochemical engineer? Wow. Chemistry or biochemistry? My class is not complete. Okay, fine. It means you will not be given the opportunity then. Yes, in the next... Okay, batch A, they've gone, right? Is any batch A that's in? Huh? They have gone? That's what I'm saying. Okay. So Abia was the last set of people that benefits. We need to recruit 28 people within Monday, which is, today is on Friday, right? Next Monday to the following Monday, that's in 1 week's time, 27. And ITO is the next thing that will happen. ITO is the second to Dangote. So the Dangote refinery in Lagos, ITO refinery in Bayelsa State, and ITO will come up in October. I wanted to give 3 here. I've given 3 in Abia already. So Nccf Bayelsa is coming next week. They will take 3. Then Kano will take 3. Lagos will take 3. I want just to divide it like that. Oh, so what do I do now? Who do I give your 3 slots to? What will be your advice? I should increase the other people on, right? Huh? Is it? Yes, civil, petrochemical, chemistry or biochemistry. I don't want you to give your slot to who is not part of you. Those who have gone, don't bring them in. But they've gone. Okay, fine. Okay, let's continue. Let's leave it open. Okay? So, like I told you, it has to be in-house first before outsider. That is me. I'm not biased, so please, we do that. So, make sure your policy is in place quickly. So when you are organizing it, this is how it works. You have production department where you have production manager. You have human resource management where you have human resource manager. You have quality assurance department when you have quality assurance manager. you should also have what? Health and safety department with health and safety manager, with linear officers. Who are the linear officers? Safety officers. If you have project site A, B, C, D, you are going to have what? Safety manager in each of those site locations. Let it be unique. And when it comes to the fast night driver, I wanted to okay, let me use my then. So planning. When you are planning, make sure that it has a systematic approach to implementing that policy, not just because you want to plan it. And your planning should take care of what? Risk. The aim of planning is to do what? Minimize risk. Try to plan to minimize risks. And risk ratio should be what? 1 to 3. If it's above 3, it means you have to suspend that operation to work more on it. Is that correct? If it's above 3, you have to work more on it to reduce it. Then pre-plan. Okay, pre-plan has to be in place. So you try to do what? You try to look at risk assessment method that are used to decide on priorities and to set the objective for eliminating hazard and reducing risk. You look at where possible risk elimination method are in place through selection and design of facility, equipment, and processes. So if risk cannot be eliminated, what do? They are minimized by the use of physical control, or the last resort through system of work, or through what? Personal protective equipment. And your personal protective equipment varies from industry to industry. We in the construction industry, the first thing we think of is what? Right? After that, your overall and your what? Those of us that are in the lab and the chemical, petrochemical, what do? Do we need helmets? Do we need overall? Eh? No, now what you go for is a lab? Louder now. Now what are you doing overall in the lab? Are you so the first thing is what? Your lab and your. Then those of us that are in the underwater, do we need this? Do we need overall? Safety boots? The first thing that comes to our mind is what? Swimming. Then oxygen. Wear it. Then underwater torchlights. When you go in, your red ball will be on water. What is the essence of the red ball that will be on water? What is indication like? To tell you that somebody is under the water, and you must create what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the red ball for the safety of the person underneath. So after planning, you do what? Measure the performance based on agreed standard. And when you are measuring the performance, you are going to measure hardware and software. Hardware in HSE refers to what? The premises. You are going to evaluate the premises. Hardware refers to also the plants. And hardware also refers to what? The substances you are working with. While the software in HSE refers to what? The people, the procedure of work, and the system of work, which include what? Individual behavior and performance. Once you have done this, you have to audit, and the auditing has to take place in a systematic manner by comparing your work to the other competitors, whether you are in the same industry or counterpart industry. Compare it so that you have a good result. Now that will take us to the recent development in the occupational health and safety management system. Back to be fast about it. The current development in occupational health and safety management system is all about what? Standardization. I hope my attendance for HSC is going around, my uncle. Attendance for this HSC, is it going around? Huh? Ha. I must have my attendance for each section, or what do you do? What do you intend doing? Fine, okay. The recent development in occupational health and safety is all about standardization. And we said many industrially developed worlds emphasize more on standard. As a result, the International Standard Organization gives us two standards to follow. One, ISO 9000 series. It's all about what? It's all about what now, this class? It's even on the board, a simple expo, and I know see them. ISO 9000 series, and then ISO 14000 series. Okay, so these are the two. So this is what ISO gave us, 9000 series, which is quality management system, and ISO 14000 series, which is all about environmental management system. The two integrate each other. They are anonymous. They work hand in hand. And these codes are there for us to work with, to improve on our health and safety management. But look at this document. What is standard? This is what we need to know. What is standard? We'll keep talking about standard. What's standard? Standard is defined by BSI. I think I've defined BSI before, right? British Standard Institute. As a document established by consensus and approved by recognized body that provide for common and repeated use, rules, guidelines, or characteristics for activities or their result aimed at the achievement of optimum degree of order in a given context. These standards are voluntary, designed for organization to follow, and they are there to be verified by the national body. And we say in Nigeria, there are 3 national bodies that verify them: NAFDAC and So they are there as either specification document or a guidance document. What do we mean by specification document? A specification document, yes, a specification document is a detailed set of requirements to be certified by a product, material, process, or system, indicating the procedure for checking conformity to these requirements. It took Nigerian Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria to 2010 for them to get all our drug under specification. It means all the drug we have been taking before 2010, we are taking it for His grace. Yes, now. Now, before you buy drugs from Mama Nkechi, what will you do? Mama Nkechi, let me have it. You will scratch it, right? Why are you scratching? You are trying to do specification. When you scratch, the number will be open. You test it to what? 3858. Wait for some seconds. An SMS will pop up. This drug is satisfied and is recommended for your use. It's okay. You can now say, okay, Nkechi, take your money. But when you wait after a minute, no response, what will you do? Madam, take, work. There will be problem. Oh. What will be the problem? You need to pay for it because you don't scratch them. Nobody go buy. Don't bother yourself. Pay. Take that. Don't consume it too. Take that drug to Nigerian Pharmaceutical Council close to you in any of the local government or to the state secretary. Please, don't do like Brother Basi, Nccf Suleja. I'm angry at that young man. When you take it to council to register, don't register for 100 million. Register for 1 billion so that they will negotiate where you have good money. The young man registered it for 100. And at the end of it all, he got compensated with 10 million naira after 4 months. I will not give you the detail how they do it. So, but once you have come across that, don't bother yourself. Pay. Take it to council and register it. And if you know you can't go alone, go with a lawyer and go and register it. Simple. So specification is there for you to verify. But a guidance document, don't go far, we are still there. A guidance document is not specification. A guidance document provides just advice rather than a set of verifiable requirements and is designed as an internal management tool. And that's where drug, products, you need to specify the guidance and saying, okay, keep it in a cool area, out of reach for children, that those ones are guidance document. It's still part of what? Standard. It's still part of a standard. But that move in and give us what? Option 2, ISO 14001 management model. Let's look at it quickly. Management model. Yes, this is it. ISO 14001 management model is shown in this diagram below. And as you can see, there's an overlap between G65 and this 14001. Hello, bro. You go back to that G65 diagram. Yes. See, this is G65. It's all about policy, organizing, planning, implementing, measuring performance, reviewing it, audit. Then I go to 14,001. Now you could see an overlap. There's an overlap. 14,001 is telling you, good, we know it's all about health and safety policy. It should be all about occupational health and safety policy. You should plan it. Implementation and operation. There should be room for checking and corrective action. Management will review it. Once management review the policy, you should do what? Leave it open for continuous improvement. It means what you have now is not the best. There's room for what? Continuous improvement. And that's why we said, even in the next 100 years, this management model will still be in what? In use. And every other model they are bringing forward, it has to refer to this management model because of what? Continuous improvement. Round it up for me. Leave it. So 1996, the international came together to form a policy that will guide every other person. And the British were the first organization to come up with British Standard 8800. So the British Standard 8800 was written as a guidance document. Is it specification document? Is 8800 is it specification document? No, it's a guidance document. So a set of what? Advice to me and you as practitioner on how to go on safety, on how to go on managing environment, on how to go in managing health. So the model used in BS 8800 is what? Look at it. The model used is that of what? G65 and ISO 14001. So it's a combination of the two to advise we the practitioners. Okay, and we all followed it. It gave us all it takes. Finally, in 1999, the Occupational Health and Safety Management Specification was given as a specification document to guide all practitioners on how to manage health and safety using the verb shall. So that if you are writing your health and safety policy, you make it what? Compulsory. You know, when you say shall, the verb shall is compulsion. I will see you tomorrow. I shall see you tomorrow. Which of these two will I say? I will see you tomorrow. I shall see you tomorrow. In your own case, if the willingness is there, that's when I will come. In your own case, whether, in fact, if anything happened at all, it's none of my, I must come and see you. Because other policies using G65, using 9,000 series, using 40,000 series, using the management model, is not compulsion. For instance, if my company said we will compensate if there's any accident or incident at the cost of work with a sum of 100 million naira, and now there was an accident, we decided not to pay you. If you take the case to court, what happened? You want to enforce it, Abi? We will tell you, based on the current economic policy of it's our turn now, it has affected our turnover. So we can't afford to pay you compensation of 100 million. Because our policy say what? Our policy is linear, it's not much. But if we use 18,001 that said shall, whether economic policy of is our turn now or not, you must add it to your loss. That compensation is a part of your loss. But if it's other ones, it's not much. But 18,001 will compel you to pay compensation. And that's why we said always use what? Shall to help. Then 18,001 decided to use this as a specification document using 14,001 as what? As a model. Go down and let's see the model. This is it. This is 18001. He brought forward 14,001, but decided to break it down into smaller units by saying one is all about health and safety policy. But when it comes to planning, your planning must be done in 4 steps. 1, planning for hazard identification, risk assessment, and control. That should be the first planning you're going to do. 2, planning for legal and other requirements. And then number 3, planning for occupational health and safety objectives. And finally, number 4, planning for occupational health and safety management programs, so that the program will educate all the workers as it has to do with HSE new policies. For instance, if you are coming to ExxonMobil to visit your friend, after you are done with security, do you know where you'll be taken to? You'll be taken to health and safety department. You'll be given 15-minute lecture on how to walk safely while visiting your friend. You know why? At the cost of visiting your friend, if there's any accident or incident that you were affected, who take care of you? The company, because the policy is there. So to minimize the risk of accident or incident, that's why they have to give you that word, that lecture. And then you'll be given your safety guide while you are visiting. So don't go and wear labu labu while visiting. Okay, you men, you wear labu labu, agbada, right? No, you have to work smart. So that is planning. But when it comes to implementation, implementation should be done in 7 steps. The first level is what? Structure and responsibility, training and awareness and competency, consultation and communication, documentation, document and data control, operational control. Then number 7, emergency preparedness and response. You see that number 7 is 0 in Nigerian society. You see that emergency preparedness and response is 0. How many of us have seen a fire service station closer to us in this state? At the local government here or where you are coming from? Let there be fire outbreak and you call the fire service, whether federal or state. The first one is, you say fire they burn for where? People don't gather. Then just listen to other excuses. Oh, we don't have water in our tank. As in how? How? Emergency response, no water in your tank. Or, the fire brigade officers are not available. Or the driver is not here. As in, what is this? What was the excuse? Okay, before they got there. Okay, the tank is leaking before you get there. Okay. Even that is good. In 2021, Anambra state government was exposed. There was a fire outbreak in Onitsha market, the cluster market. And the state has 5 fire stations. Onitsha fire station, Oka fire station, Newi fire station, Eklobia fire station, and the other side of Aguleri. All the 5 stations, call were put across. We get to know that there was no word, firefighters. The last time the state government employed firefighters was 1987. When the 2 states, Anambra and Enugu, were together as states. So are they telling us nobody is retiring and nobody is dying from that ministry? That was not enough. The last time they bought firefighter truck and equipment, 1987. Ford. So meaning those firefighting equipment are now scrap. The governor get to know that yes, there's a problem. He had no option than to call his neighbor, which is what? The Delta State governor, please come to my aid. And Delta State government have better standard firefighting equipment and brigades. They open it up. Asaba Fire Station, Ogwashuk Fire Station, follow up, Agbo, join. And within 2 hours, it was over. But I love the response of the governor the following day. What did he do? Executive order to recruit what? 500 firefighters. And he went to Innocent and bought what? Fire equipment for all the stations. That is the way it should be. But the question is, will the next governor continue from where the other one stopped? If yes, Soludo is there now, second tenure. Has he recruited more firefighters? More equipment? So the same problem will continue. And when it comes to that number 7, emergency response, is 0. And that's why we lost Biggie in the camp. NYC camp, Sokoto. And I blame Daddy for doing that. Biggie's flummed. There was no word. Emergency response till 1 hour later. Can a heart that stopped beating come up after 1 hour? Except he that is over there said, no, it's not yet over, right? And that's how that young man just... But my pain is that Biggie had all his study in Australia. And now you want him to come and serve. Is NYC compulsory? Eh? No, it's a voluntary service. It's a voluntary service. It's not a compulsory service. So let's leave that aside. Maybe tomorrow we can deal on it. Okay, this health and safety police. Okay, I need to talk of it too. Those of you that will pass soon, let me see your hand up. In the next 3 months, anybody passing out? Only you. Okay, 2. There's HSC policy for you as corpus. I hope you are all aware. And there's HSC policy for you while you are here. And you have been assigned to HMO already. When you log in into your detail, you will see it. Right? Now the question is, why you are serving in Kwara State, no accident, no incident, no ill health, and you are about going back home, that policy, can you continue with it? If you cannot, yeah, you can continue with it. If you cannot continue with it, and you want to exit, how do you recover your 460,000 naira premium? Have you assessed your policy before now? Have you used it at any time? So if you want to go and call the 460, how do you get it? You leave it for them. But you were informed how you go about it during orientation camp. Eh? You said? I'm not getting you. You were given the orientation how to go about it. Good. Now that you didn't use it and you're about to go, how do you get the 450 premium? The 460 premium? You were sleeping when the orientation was going on. Oh, we're going here. You see? I was saying it in one of your lectures. See, these are things you needed. One of you here, which it was the last time I was here? 2022, right? I was the one that came here. Okay, 2022. Then Adnayo came later. Okay, 2022. One of you has to follow up to assess his. So please check your HMO. Find out where their office is here. Where is that my lady for UNICEF? Yeah, you did a perfect job. You see those 5 locations you gave me? Don't worry. Try to, you know this. Have you been to any of those locations? Do you know any of those ones? Eh? 1. Don't worry. We're going to work with the other ones. Eh? So know your HMO office where they are so that you see how you can collect your money. Now your money no be then get them. When we served those days, that money was 60,000. 60 kpa. I serve in Benue State. Understand? I serve in Benue State. And I make sure I collect that 60 kpa. Just a day to POP. I went to the state secretary. That 60K na me get time. Mama signed for me. As I reach Enugu, from Barras, I go enter the insurance office, collect my 60 kpa, nothing they happen. He said, David, you again, you and Sadiq, you gave us headache right from camp. I say, yes. What was the headache are you talking of? The state government, the federal government provided 7 cows for coppers. You guys presented just only 4. The remaining 3 where are they, Mama? Is that the problem? Is that the problem? Myself and Sadiq, we fought for core member in the camp. Yes. After I'm not eating that food, I'll go to Mami and eat. But there are persons that depend on those things. So why will you present 4 instead of 7? And I trust the military governor those days. They have to act. So please, check on your 460K. You need that money. So we'll talk about it finally. No, go back. Go back. I'll talk finally on this. So if you are in charge tomorrow, please activate this. Are you there? if you are in charge, please activate emergency response. When accident or incident are to happen, they will not announce. So even if it's church program you are having, even if it's 3-4 hours, let there be emergency response in place. Are we there? Somebody fainted in the church when I just the hammer and bah. How? There should be emergency response in place. There are experts that are in charge of that. Allow them to volunteer for that 1 hour program. Are we there? It's a service to our Lord. Let them volunteer for that 2-3 hours. Emergency response should be in place. Then, checking and corrective action should be done in 4 steps. Performance measurement and monitoring, accident, incident and non-conformance, and corrective preventative action. Then record and record management and audit. And once auditors have done their job, give it to management to review. And once they review it, leave it open for continuous improvement. Thank you so much for coming in. Other one will come online in the next 15 minutes so that all of us will have what it takes. But remember, if you are in charge tomorrow, the safety of every person working, every customer coming in, their dependents, their safety is in your hand when you are writing your policy. Write a standard policy that will cover everybody. Don't exempt anyone. Are we there? And I will emphasize on it again. Go online and check on what? HSC auditor. There's a job for you in that unit. Don't wait for work. Look, get that job done as consultant. Thank you and good night. Once again, I'm Mr. David Ojodomo Meshach, the Director of Program with Growth International, Senior Consultant with Data Edge, and Senior Consultant with System Edge. If there's any emergency that we must talk between now and tomorrow, because we are meeting tomorrow again by 3 p.m. Is that, Uncle? Yes, we are meeting by 3 p.m. tomorrow. If there's any emergency, call me on 080-2274-8946. It's the same thing as WhatsApp. So if there's any emergency, please, any emergency that I must attend to. Thank you and good night. Sorry, my dear. We have to give in like 5 minutes for interaction, questions, and response, please. I will take them. It's only I'm just in haste because I don't know how your security is like in these states. Because the news we are hearing outside is as if your state is on fire. Huh? Please, let's have some question. I will entertain your question, please. Now. Or should I ask question? What do we do? Ask question. Now let me attend to your question. Or should I ask questions? Okay, it's the time. Not even up to 9:30. Do. You have a question? Okay, let's look at it this way. If you are given opportunity that you are to plan your safety policy, what's the first thing that will be on your mind to plan towards? Identifies risk. Do you hear her respond? The first thing that will be on her mind before planning is to identify the risk areas. Good and fine. Now, as a safety officer, we are to go to a process site A tomorrow. What are the risk assessment methods that you must put in place before we go to those sites tomorrow? Access control. The first thing we need to even do is go there and identify the risk areas. And once you find them out, what do? You go with your indicators. The warning sign. How do you mark it out? I think I'll give somebody an award here. The warning sign, what's your sign? You are going to run the ribbon. Which of the ribbon? One inside ribbon is what? Black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow. If you run black, yellow around here, what does that mean? Warning sign. Avoid that area. Then there's the danger zone. Which of the ribbon do you run? Red, white, red, white, red, white, red, white. Cross no zone. What do you run? Cross no zone. As in this area is no go area. Red what? These are minor one now. These are safety minor, you should know. Which other one? Which other one? Which other one? Safety major. Okay, when we talk about tripping and falling, what do we do? Tripping and falling. That's electrical electronics now, right? Who is in charge of this? He did a perfect job, right? In some cases, what do? You see those wires running around. And that's the first word. First indicator that there will be what? Tripping and falling. It could happen. So you have to avoid that. Walkways. And those of us that will go underwater, first safety measure is what? What do we go with? Huh? But in an open field, you have to do what? Have your basket that will lower you down. Like the case of what happened last week. Okay, I was in Abia last week, Abi. The accident happened last week. The Egbin power plant. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 turbines. 3 is up, 2 is down. And you need to do what? You need an underwater diver to go rectify it. He is an expert in that field, and I felt bad. I expect him to know what to do. You don't dive into it without even knowing what is in place. So you have to detect using underwater basket to check if current is running underneath. Okay? He didn't use basket, he dived in. Meanwhile, there's current running and he was electrocuted down there. Or there's nothing wrong in you pumping out all the waters from the spots. That's turbine. Empty it out. You could take the next 6 hours to empty it so that you see it one-on-one where the problems are. Now, that they failed to do initial is what they later to do. They need to evacuate the water to recover his body. And by so doing, Lagos don't have light for 3 days. So why not solve the problem ahead? So that is what I'm bringing in. Please, make sure you lower your underwater personnel with baskets. So the basket safety underneath will test the current. And if there's any danger around, he or she is in the basket. Shark, crocodile, anything could be within, right? So being in that basket, you are saved. Okay? And you that is in control, safety control, for every 2 minutes, you take signal from the basket. If you draw it, he will have to do what? Pull it back, telling you he's saved. Once you hear it back, he's saved. If you draw it 1, 2, 3, no response, you know there's what? Danger. Out. So all these things are elementary that you have to put in place. You are the one that dragged and we love what we did. Any other thing again? Can I exit now? You have a question?
Thank you very much. So my question is, in cases where you are working with companies that don't have these health policies in place, and what do you do?
I told you when it comes to health and safety policy, is what? Okay? Because we don't have health and safety law in Nigeria, the one we have is full of loopholes. Many companies decided to operate what? On a closed system. If not, how can an oil and gas firm or industry or company operate a closed system? How? Do you know the dangers that are involved in the area of the operation? The law should be opened. So if you find yourself in an industry that operates in a closed system. What you are asking is a closed system. They don't have it at all. If you are in charge or at the cost of your safety meeting, try to raise the idea of turning the closed system to an open system. Do you know why most of them run into closed system? They believe it's less expensive. It saves time. But they don't know that that is more expensive. For instance, if you have 20 workers, and monthly you are paying them safety allowance of 100,000. How much are you paying monthly? 100 by 20. 2 million. What are these people saying? You are paying 100,000 to 200 people. How much you pay in a month? Is it not running to millions? Good. By a year. But you know, a worker could be working for the whole year and he has not accessed hospital. You know, the police who are talking is you are sick, you have to go to us. Some worker could work for 5 years, they have not even accessed the policy. Okay? They have not accessed the policy. So you save more money. But we are looking at critical stage. And that's why we said always make it what? An open policy. Are we good to go now? Thank you and good night. We'll see again by 4 p.m. Okay? 4 p.m. tomorrow. And at the end of the 4 p.m. section, there's going to be what? Job fair for all the participants. So that once you are done, any year you are done with your service, any month you are done with your service, please, if you want to work, use any of those contacts. But the question is this. Let me just give you the warning. So that what happened to Amaka, Nccf Ebonyi, 2019 will not repeat itself. If you got all those contacts and you share, it's very simple. The person will undergo the screening, interview. He or she will be seeing the job. The last phase of screening for you to get job is for you to identify your number. Yes. Whoever is trained and certified, there's a unique number on each of your certificates. And that is the essence of we generating your information. You must give us your name the way it will appear on your certificates. You must give us the course you studied at the University or Polytechnic. You must give us your email ID. You must give us your phone number and the course you run here. That young lady was in the house in Abakaliki. She was not trained. She used the contact, got interview. She undergo through. In fact, she was calling me, calling Anayo, calling Dr. Okpe, everybody. She was so good and we're all happy that this lady will be part of the team. Now, the last phase, your ID number. So which one? They call the director of program. Yes, you will call me. I say, yes, any of the certificates, any number on it, could be PMP, could be HSC, could be your HRM, or QAQC, do IME. He said, no. He said she was in the house, but she was not part of. I said, sorry you don't lose the job. Oh. What do? I have to quickly go through. Okay. We have Mercy, Nccf Bauchi. Where are you? Are you in Abuja? I say, yes. Quickly go to so area, get that job. It's the same accounting you study. And she got the job instead of Amaka. And to her, she believed I was the one that denied her the job. Was it my fault? Was it my fault? It wasn't. And it took her another extra 3 years to go run the program outside, pay times 10 of what she could have paid initially, then came in, got the job, and now she's under Mercy. Because Mercy is a senior accountant. She's just a junior because of what? 3 years gap. So please avoid that. Even when you share, the risk is high. Then another one, because I got this one recently, last week. Those who were trained in the zone, Nccf Ife 2022. Because Osun State is a super state. Yeah, Osun is a super state. So they were trained in the zone Ife. He just got job January with ExxonMobil. And ExxonMobil sent in info. Okay, maybe tomorrow I'll read the information so that you see the implication. They wanted us to vent him, not NCCF venting him. And that's why this thing you are generating will help. I don't even know the guy in question. The Ife Kpakpa, I was a student of Ife, but I was not a student in NCCF Ife, so how will I know him? So we have to go on system and check. The attendant check that he was part of them in 20. I got to see it 2022. So, okay, fine. So I have to write my recommendation based on the fact that he was part of them in 2022. So because of his detail there, the mobile number, I have to call that mobile number in that. I use social persons. Where are you working, Chris? I with ExxonMobil head office. I said, okay, fine. He said, who is this? I said, you don't need to know. Right? It's a secret one. And I just put down my recommendation. So I have to call them. Say, please allow him in. So we do this because we are